Hey everyone, this is Cameron Kate, and today I'm going to share some tips on vinyl record care and collection. Now, switching to vinyl is one of the best things I've done, and I'll share with you some of the reasons why. Now, I will say record collecting is a great hobby, but it does require a bit of work, so I'm here to share some tips and answer some questions that you might have. The first question that always comes up is why vinyl? Well, first is the sound. There are so many subtle nuances to music recorded on vinyl. Now, I'm not a music snob, but there is an audible difference in hearing Billie Holiday on a CD and hearing Billie Holiday's mono recording where the band was in the studio with her. If you're into jazz like I am, there's also the feeling of knowing that this was how the music was intended to be heard. From Sarah Vaughan singing Gershwin to Louis Armstrong singing La Vie en Rose. There's such a fullness to the sound that makes for a listening experience that I'm not sure would be found just popping in a CD. So what do you want to look for when picking out vinyl? The less scratches, the better. Seriously, you will want to physically examine older vinyls. This means taking them out of the sleeves and examining the vinyls themselves. Now, make sure to check with the store. I've never had any problems with this, but it is a crucial part when searching for used vinyl. I've had some record sleeves that look flawless, and inside the albums are horrible and just covered in scratches. So you might be wondering, what are the parts of a turntable? Well, looking at this turntable, you have the tone arm, that's the long arm, and on the back of it is the counterweight, and on the front is the cartridge and the stylus. The stylus is the needle, and the cartridge is that square part that is connected to the stylus. There are many turntable options, and they can range from fairly cheap to ones that require you to refinance your home. The records themselves are vinyl discs that are pressed into an etching made from a master pressing. The grooves contain the song. They're picked up through the stylus and the cartridge. That's pretty cool, right? First is the storage of your collection. Now, vinyl can warp and it'll ruin your record. This is why it is best to store your collection upright vertically and usually somewhere that is away from humidity. There are usually 3 sleeves when you're speaking about vinyl. There is an outer plastic sleeve, the record sleeve or album cover itself, and finally the inner sleeve. All of them are important and must be cared for. This also increases the value of your collection. Record collectors are super picky about the vinyl that they add to their collection, so you want to make sure that yours is as marketable and cared for as possible. The plastic sleeve or outer sleeve is a thin pocket that goes over the record sleeve. These protect the cover and are relatively inexpensive. The record sleeve or the album cover is very important. It is usually the storage for your vinyl. It's usually what makes people want to purchase the album and can sometimes illustrate the care that was taken in preserving the record. This is the sleeve that comes in contact with the record itself. I try to switch out all the original sleeves with the new ones. This does not mean throw away the original ones, but you do want to try to add a new one. When you're dealing with records that may be 50 years old, dust and debris can get in. These are a really cheap option, and it's a great way to feel a bit more safe about your vinyl being cared for. So you went out shopping, you got your great vinyl, and you want to play your selection. What are you going to do first? Well, first off, when handling the record, you want to hold the record sandwiched in between your palms. You do not want to get the oil on your hands onto the vinyl. It does happen, so don't freak out about it, but for long-term care, you'll want to handle it as carefully as possible. Next is cleaning. I use a vinyl brush and a cleaning solution before every play. This is mainly because dust is your enemy. Now, the tone arm is important too. There's a counterweight on the back that you will want to adjust. Then, just sit back and listen. This is the best part. I love it so much. From Doc Watson to Ella to Edith Piaf to Stealers Wheel, they're all great. And just think that you're listening to things that were once so treasured by others, and now you get the opportunity to hear all these great albums. So, what if you have a scratch on an album? No worries. I will say you won't want to keep the stylus on it. Just think of a piece of vinyl that keeps hitting your stylus, and so that's definitely not good for the longevity of it. Amplifiers and speakers are also crucial, and there are a lot of options, so please do your homework. I've had several of each, and my listening experience was different on each setup. I hope this has helped you and not intimidated you. There's a responsibility that comes with an album collection, but it is definitely worth it. I appreciate your time. For more information and music reviews, check out my site at CameronKate.com.